Hello, everybody. I just wanted to test this headset, see if it'll work with Facebook, or excuse me, with YouTube. So I'm going to do a little earlier here just to see if it hears. I've been hearing that. I've been trying this since I've been for the last couple of weeks with my meetings, and so I wanted to see if it was actually coming through to you. So, all right, working fine from Las Vegas. Thanks very much, Keith. Appreciate it. It's kind of interesting, the look I get. I feel like I'm in all sorts of different colors because of the sun coming through in the back and no sun in the front. I have two windows exactly the same at opposite ends of this of my living room. I guess it's my dining room and living room mixed together. So we've been sequestered at home. Let's see. We're not back at the Lehigh office. Everyone's gone. The people can go if they want to, but they only want a few people at the office. So this is going on like week 8 for me, I guess, that we've been working from home. And it has its good and bads. You sit at your I sit at the table. I'm working at my dining room table because my son's downstairs in the basement because he's working from home as well, and he has calls and video calls. And so it it gets pretty rough sometimes because you just go from one meeting to the next meeting to the next meeting, and you're sitting here all this time. You're trying to stretch and move around, and things are aching. But anyways, I got this notebook brand new when I started, and I'm already that far down in all of the notes and all of the things I need to do. These are all of my to-do lists, and that one of these tabs for each page that has a to-do on it. So one page may have 4 or 5 different to-dos, but I haven't even gotten through those, so I can make sure we're getting everything done. So anyway, I'm glad you can hear me okay. I hope I don't look too weird with the old headset on, like a airport dude or something. And boy, okay, we got some hello there from Australia, Las Vegas, Ivans, Utah, Abbotsford, British Columbia. Well, welcome. And Cape Coral, Florida, New Zealand. That's got to be late there, I would guess, or maybe early. Burley, Idaho, Lehigh, and North Oregon coast, Cadwell, Idaho, and Colorado, Georgia. Welcome, everybody. I noticed I was looking in there to see if anybody submitted any questions, and you all are getting shy at your questions. I think I only have like 6 questions here. So that, I don't know if we end early or we talk about some other things. So, I'll continue to take questions live while we're here. So don't be afraid to enter your questions in as part of the chat. Let me get back to the live stream here. Sorry. So welcome everybody to this this YouTube live. We're doing YouTube because it seems to be doing better, the technology and the audio and all that stuff. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate having you on. I'm sure that lots of people and lots of you that are already on the list here talking have questions, and I just want to remind everybody that you can submit your questions over on Facebook on Family History Ron at any time. You can go in there and click to add a question, and you can enter it in, and then I'll have a list of questions that we can discuss today or the next time we meet. And thanks for coming, and hope you get something out of this. I do it because I want to make sure that people understand how to work FamilySearch. So maybe I could say a little bit about myself. Looks like there's some names maybe that haven't been here before. So I'm Ron Tanner. I go by Family History Ron on this here and in Facebook. And my role is I'm responsible for the FamilySearch.org website, And I don't necessarily do indexing or any of the help articles or things like that. I help out where I can, and mostly the tree. So we started out building the tree years ago, the new version that we have today. So that's where I come into play. I started at FamilySearch the week I started on like a Wednesday or Thursday in July in June 2007. And that happened to be the week that new FamilySearch, which was the prior version, it's unfortunate they said new, released. And so I was there. I didn't build any of it from before, but that day, or it was Friday, they had a celebration for the ice cream because we released it in St. Louis. And so that's when I started. So been around for a while. 2007, what is that? 13 years, going on 13 into 14 because it's past June. Oh no, it's not quite June yet. So I'll answer some questions then, and then I'll take some, and then I'll answer some questions that are already been submitted. So Keith asks, are the PIDs, that's person IDs, that begin with KW that are created by the church when a membership record is created? And the answer is no. There is no special meaning for KW. People ask me that all the time, that somehow that rumor has been spread around that the KW means it's a member of the church, and that is not true. It just so happened to be the first letters of our schema when that record was created, but there is no special meaning for any of the letters that are in these PIDs. So don't make any assumptions about KW meaning that it's a member one or not, because that's not true. What is the purpose of archives in memories, and why would I want to use it? Well, the purpose for archives is that you just don't want to see all of your memories on your gallery. You just want to keep looking at the same thing, and it's got a long list, and you're having a harder time finding things. You may want to just say archive them, and all it does is puts it in that archive folder, and it's just out of your way, and it's not on the gallery. I believe I haven't done it myself, but I believe you can go in there and say, well, pull it out of archive so I can get it back on my gallery. I think it just helps you unclutter your gallery if you're trying to work on a set of photos that you've recently uploaded. And if you've got them dealt with and attached and everything, you may want to just move them over to the archive so you don't have to have it all clutter up your view. So yeah, Robert, hot California. It's hot here. It was about an hour ago. It's 7:30 here. 6:30. It was 95 degrees outside. So it's pretty warm here in Utah too. You guys are sending that heat over our way, because anything you get, we get, a couple of days later. Can you explain the digitization situation? If a film has a DGS number, does that mean it has been digitized? And if so, why does the camera icon not show up? Well, not all. When you have a DGS number, you're talking about the catalog, and not everything in the catalog is digitized, or if it is digitized, not always we show it. So just because it has a DGS number does not necessarily mean that it's been digitized or that it's something that we can show. We can only show the ones that have the camera icons, and then that can vary depending on whether you're at home or whether you're in a family history center. There could be some camera icons on those that you wouldn't see at home, because they can only be shown. The agreement with the owners of the record is that they can only be shown at a family history center. So you can't put any strong thing on the DGS that assumes that it's been digitized or not. It may be just indexes that we received. All right, I'm going to go over to the Ask Ron a question ones. Here's somebody. Kathy is frustrated a little bit by the indexing projects from Canterbury probate records. The instructions seem to be a bit confusing. I certainly will pass this on to that team. And so I will, she's downloaded a bunch of batches and reviewed several of them and run in some struggles. So couldn't figure out how to do some of the things she needed to do. So I'm going to take this, Kathy, I'm going to take this information, I'm going to send it over to the team that does those instructions and for those particular records. And then I'll get the answer back. If you want to send me an email, ron@familysearch.org, I can reply directly to you with the answer for this particular question. Here's from Lee. He says, my cousin and his fiance died in an auto accident days before they were to marry. They were sealed in a temple a few years after their deaths. The sealing date is used on their records in FamilySearch, but its use generates an error that says death year before marriage. The error is correct based on the formula, but is not necessarily correct based on their intent because they got sealed after they were deceased. Is there a way to flag a switch to turn it off? I haven't tried that. I was going to try that before we got started because I read the questions half an hour ago or so. And I think there are some things you can dismiss and some things you can't. So I don't have a particular setup right now. But what I suggest is I'll try it a little later after we're done, or if we have some time, I might try it. And you should be able to click the little X, I think, to dismiss it. And if that's available, you'll be able to push it and it'll dismiss it. And then that error goes away and is shown in the errors that are dismissed section, like you do with this, say not a match, those kind of things. It'll be in there. So if someone out there has tried it, you can reply, and if they've successfully done it. Otherwise, I'll try it later after this live stream is done, and then have my answer. So not all data problems are not all data problems are dismissible, but there are lots of data problems that are dismissible. So that's how you do that. You need to try that out. Okay, here's Sherry. Many times I find a record hint has been attached to more than one person. Example, a hint for an individual John Harris is also attached to another individual John Harris. How do people attach a single record hint to more than one person? Yeah, this was, we're still evaluating whether this is a good thing or not. There was I'm having a little trouble with this headset. I think it's shutting off on its own, and I don't understand why. I know it's fully charged. So, are you still hearing me out there? Let me know if you still hear me. It just started doing this like today. So I don't know what's going on with this thing. It's fully charged. But anyway, yeah, they can hear me. Okay. So once in a while, I may have to pull off the headset and push the button if I see it, something's happening there. So the way it's happening is there was a little change made a little while ago where that particular record was a match to more than one person. And so before, we never showed that match if it had already been attached to somebody else. We didn't think that was appropriate. And then there was some changes that were made that I was unaware of until later, and they decided those that did that decided it was best to show both potential matches, with the idea of letting people know that, hey, there's somebody else that matches this person. Maybe you need to look at them for merging. We're revisiting that because I think sometimes it's confusing, and you would have to, in order to attach it to the other person, you have to detach it from the prior one and attach it to the new one. So there's a little hiccup and surprise there in that interface, which we don't like. And so I believe that the way that to go there is to, if we see somebody that looks like a possible duplicate, we should show it up as a possible duplicate and not do it with showing them the same record in two places. But we haven't made any changes there. And then Charla asked, for clarification, we shouldn't post photos of living people on FamilySearch, correct? And the answer is no. You are certainly welcome to put photos of living people on FamilySearch. Oftentimes photos have deceased and living people in the picture, and depending on the age of the picture, those people could still be alive, or majority of them could be living, and that's okay. You can tag the person as with their name if you wish. You can even attach it to a living person in the tree. And what we do for privacy is when that picture is seen by somebody else that's not you. So let's say I upload a picture and it has my deceased father and mother, and it has myself and my daughter in it, which I've done. I have a picture of that in mine. And I tagged everybody in the picture, and I have my daughter in the tree, so I attached her tag to her living version of her in my private area. When I look at it, I'll see that tag with my daughter's name on it. When somebody else looks at that picture, because I also have it on my deceased father and deceased mother's pages, they will not see the tags. They will not see the names of the people that were marked living in the tree. So we do that because we want to be able to show the photo, but we don't want to expose names and relationships or anything like that to others. So if you're comfortable with that, if the pictures are a good picture and it has lots of generations, please be sure you're welcome to do that and upload that. There is something we are working on, and the concept of a private memory. And the reason we're doing that is because we believe there is some memories that that you want to save, you want to write, but you don't want anybody to see until some certain time. And we're working on doing it. We haven't decided what that time frame would be, so we'll probably release it before we do that, before we figure out an option of when you want to release those pictures. It could be at when we're notified of when you're deceased. It could be 3 years after you're deceased. It could be several different options, but that's a way for you to put that up there, and then attach it all to the right places, mark it private, and then nobody else will see it until the time that you designate when you are wanting to allow that to release. So that's another thing that's coming, and you may want to wait till then or may not. That's up to you. Let me take a question in the live area for a moment. So scroll up again here. Let's see. Next question in the list was, is there a way we can tag documents attached in memories in the same way we tag sources we attach from FamilySearch? Well, no, there's no way to tag a document in memories to a conclusion. You can only tag memories to a person. So the way you would do that is you can take any memory. It doesn't have to be a document. It doesn't have to be a picture. You could take any memory and turn it into a source. So that's what you should do. You should go into the person that document is about, and you want to use some element of that document as a source on birth or death or whatever. Just go create a source on that person, say it's a memory source, and then select that document. That should work. Let me know if that doesn't. I haven't done that myself. I've done mostly pictures and things of records. And then create the source and attach it and tag it to any of the vitals that you believe that they belong to. You should be able to do that with documents as well as pictures, photos. Should be any memory, I believe. Kathy, there's an image unavailable. This image is unavailable for online viewing at this time. Does this mean it might come up later? Or is there another way of saying that the image viewing is restricted? I think that one is just a processing issue. That depends on how fast you're talking about. Usually you get that right after you upload, but usually within a few minutes, unless the system is having some issues, it should start showing. If it's supposed to be restricted, it'll say restricted on it, and it'll actually send you a message and tell you that that you have a memories that's restricted. So, Kathy, look at that again. If it hasn't happened, let's say you waited 20 minutes or half hour or something, it's still not that way. You need to send me an email, ron@FamilySearch.org, with the PID that you attach it to, or the URL of the memory itself, and we'll go take a look at that and see why that might be stuck. We don't usually have that happen at all. Occasionally it does, but let me know and we'll get that taken care of. Next one, why does FamilySearch show hints that are already attached? I just explained that one, right? That's because there was a thought that if you showed it that way, be a clue that you have a merge you need to take care of. I think there's a better way to do that. So we're going to be working on that one. Let me go back to ask a question on the spreadsheet. Michael says, or Michael, Roots Tech Talk is one of the highlights of the conference this year, but I missed it last time. Can you recreate that for us? So I'm gonna try to do that. I saw that thing, and YouTube actually doesn't allow you to share your screen, but I'm going to experiment over the next few weeks as we prepare for our next one. I think I have a way through a third party to be able to share that screen, and then I will certainly show you the Roots Tech Talk. I did 2 different talks. I think one of them is probably not one you're interested in. We'll have to let me know. One of them was all about futures and what's coming, and it was only like a 15 or 20 minute presentation. The other one was a full hour presentation, but I was asked to teach beginners everything about family tree. And so I spent time talking about registration and signing in and what is a person page and things like that. Some more basic things. You let me know which you'd like to see, or we can do one time and one another time. That's just let me know. You can post it on Facebook. You can post it in the chats, or you can send me an email. This same person said, update on when names on censuses will be correctable. There's an example of one I cannot correct in 1910. Yeah, I am not in the loop to know what set of collections they're working on. I don't know if they have any specific order that they're doing it. There is some work that has to be done in the collection to turn it on, to allow it to be editable, and there's some software and some adjustments they have to do to the settings in order to be able to allow that to happen. So the intent, just so you know, is that all indexes will eventually allow you to be edited and reviewed. But I'm not aware of the order. They haven't published any kind of order. So just keep looking and keep checking back on it. And I'll actually make a note here. Let me write that down. I did that the other day, last time we were here. I'm gonna do a little note here. Facebook Live. And can we, let's see, post or something like that, or blog when a collection has indexes that can be corrected. Okay, I'll put that down and talk to that team about that. So here's another one. This is Deborah. There was a hint from a Riverton FamilySearch library. I'm wondering if this is true. Is it possible to lose memories added to family tree? Answer, I guess this is the clue. Somebody must have put this answer in. Yes, if added memories, documents, and audio are not tagged. That is incorrect. It doesn't matter whether your photos, documents, or audios are tagged or not. They are not removed from your gallery ever. Next one, you die before this has been done and they are gone. That's also false. When you die, it doesn't matter. Everything that's in your gallery will remain in your gallery and not be deleted. Next condition, grandmother's box full of family memories are not tagged to any particular person. Once again, if you uploaded it to your gallery, it's still in your gallery. Grandmother dies, the box is still there, but no one knows where or whom they belong. Well, can't help you there because grandma may be the only one who knows who the people are in the picture, so I can't help you there. But certainly those pictures will still be in grandma's gallery if she's the one you're talking about. Next one, memories still remain, but not on your tree. And that is false as well. If that's been tagged, then it will stay tagged to that PID. And if things are merged, then those memories will be on the merged resulting person. If unmerge occurs or a restore occurs, then those memories go back to the original one they were on. And then, of course, the solution was, it says here, logging in FamilySearch at the top of the home page, click memories, go to the gallery. When gallery opens, go to the top of the page and select all to include all memories in your gallery. Let's go to arrange and click the, I don't know. This is an example of how to get to see your stuff again, I guess, in the gallery. And she says, oh, and hint, the adding a title is not the same as adding a tag, and that is correct. A title is just data where you give the memory a title, just like you do a date and a place, and stuff like that. And you do not have to tag it. I mean, it's great to tag it because that means other people can see it right away in the tree, but you do not have to tag photos. There, I don't know where the rumor is coming out that they disappear, and it's just not true. All right, a couple more, and then I'll go back to the live questions. This is from Irene. She says, I love the new merge procedure, so clear and easy. I love that I can open the sources right on the same screen while I'm deciding whether to merge or not. And she's merged over 1,000 people. So thank you very much for helping to remove duplication. You said previously that you're working on having the FamilySearch program check locations before sending out record hints because you think it will reduce many errors. I agree. Your suggestion that most of the 1700 early and 1800s would probably not have traveled more than 3 to 5 miles has been helpful. Question, in general, how far do you suggest researching back on direct ancestor lines before focusing on descendancy research? The late 1700s, I wouldn't go that far personally. What I would do is get back to, you can usually find decent records back to, especially the United States, Europe, or England anyway, and other countries. You can't go back that far at all, but depending on where your family is, as long as you've got good censuses and good vital records such as birth and death and marriage records, I would go back, and then what I would do is maybe I'll get bored going back, and then I just turn around, start going down, and it's exponential, right? You go up. If you're going up, you get 2 parents, then you get 4, and then you get 8, and then 16, 32. You're going like that, which is you can do fairly quickly with a good set of censuses. But then there's a lot of joy in turning around and coming down and finding these families, their children and who they married, and that branches out. So you can only have to go up, I don't know, 5 or 6 generations and then start coming down, and you're talking millions of people that you're adding to your lines, and that's pretty exciting and pretty interesting and fun because the records are good. It is hopefully in the areas that you're looking at. Oftentimes you'll bump into a wall, or you'll bump into areas where people are living. They're going to be living. So, you can still put them in. They'll show in your private area, and you have to kind of wait around till you find some death certificates. So that's some work that is to keep after that. But I don't know if I'd go all the way. I wouldn't go way back 1700s. That seems pretty early. Pretty far out there before I turn around. I kind of do up and down, and depending on when I see records. If I see records of kids, then I'll turn around and add those kids, and I might go up a generation or two, and then let's turn around and go back down. So however you feel inspired and impressed to go. All right, the last one is Jim. Says he's sending me a couple of ideas, so maybe you have to tell me what you think. On the left side of the FamilySearch tree homepage, you can make the recent photos and recent stories collapse like how the right side is collapsed for recommended tasks, recent people, and to-do list. So wants to clear out the left-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, add a new collapsible section for favorite photos that are uniquely selected by each user. So I think those are interesting suggestions. I'll write them down. And there's been others who've asked about, hey, is there a way we can, take away some of the pictures? Now you can do that, but you have to do it one at a time to say, I don't want to see any pictures from this PID, or I just don't want to see this picture. The idea is that, it's kind of fun if you come back to the site and then there's a new picture there that you didn't know about. It's kind of fun to see that. So that was the purpose, is that if new pictures get added to your line, and I think we go back like 8 generations and down 2 or 3, something like that, it's kind of fun. But also sometimes you're the one that's put all the pictures in, and so you kind of like, I already know all these pictures. So I'll take that over. I think we're working on some new designs for that homepage. We'll have to see how that fits into the priority list. All right, let's see. Back on the live questions. I think the rest of mine have to be live questions. Why does FamilySearch show hints that are already? Oh, we already talked about that. Why does the date you standardize for marriages go to the bottom of the list once you standardize that date? That requires you to delete all the other dates or standardize all of them. Well, I'm not sure why you have a bunch of dates on your marriages unless the person got married 100,000 times, or, I mean, now I had an uncle that got married and then he got divorced and then he got married again to the same woman and then got divorced again from her and then got another wife. So it's standardized, allows us to know exactly what date you have. So I'm not sure if you send me the PID there, Jenny, I can take a look at it and see what it's doing. I suspect it's because we can sort it properly, because we there it again. They went and did it again. So I suspect that we were able to sort it, and because I think we put the earliest at the top and the latest at the bottom, and that's probably why. Yeah. I was prompted this week, as Amanda, to help standardize locations. It's very cool, and I'm happy to help. Is there any thought going forward to have it give me my relatives first? Yeah, this I don't know if you've had an opportunity to try it. It's actually pretty cool. It also is available on the Family Tree app, by the way. If you want to try it, you can also do it on the website. And let me show you. You go to the more. You can't see any of that, can you? Isn't that interesting? You can't even see the picture, the screen. Huh. It's just white. You think Google does something special to keep that from happening because it's an iOS device? I wonder. Anyway, you go to the tree app and you can choose improve place names. You can't see that either. So, and what you're doing is, what this is doing is, we had to do a data cleanup in Family Tree because we had a lot of standardized information in the place that were not legit places. And so we needed to delete them. And there was millions of them. And if we try to get, I mean, it'd be great to give you ones that are from your relatives. The problem is we'd have to look at all of there was like 10 million or 9 million, something like that. We'd have to look at all of them to figure out which one is in your line. And that's a very expensive and costly process. I mean, it looks pretty fast and looks pretty cool on the site, but if you had, tens, hundreds, and 600,000 people doing that, that's a significant strain on the system. So we just decided to start from the list and just go through the list. And I mean, you can find out in your line which ones need it by just going to the homepage. And oh no, I guess homepage doesn't show that. You could go to quick tasks on the Family Tree app to do that. But I understand the sentiment. I agree. It would be great if we could just get our own family. That would be fun. All right. It's unique, is it? Part 1. Have things been glitchy lately? Helping a friend who couldn't see images on a film. For me, it showed the microfilm icon. I don't know. I'd have to know specific. We are doing some stuff. We're moving all of our data to another place because we ran out of room, and that took us like 3 months or something to do that. So I guess if you happen to be looking for a particular one, should have been no glitches. I don't recall anybody else declaring a problem there. So you'd have to tell me what's particular film or if you're seeing it lately. But here's part 2. But it could be searched 5 minutes later. It showed the camera icon. I could see the images, but he couldn't glitch. Yeah, so it was probably just a state of the system, how it was doing, or the busyness. If there was a lot of people, we've had a whole lot more people coming on the site because of this COVID-19. They're home, they want to do something constructive. They don't have to sit in meetings all day like me. And so people want to come in and do some family history, and that's great because it's good work to do. It's helpful to others, and it's great. So I suspect it was just the amount of people that were doing things. She says, are any new records being indexed in the 1700s? Is it possible to see when a record was indexed? The only way we show what's been recently indexed is you go to, let me turn that down so you get a little bit more in the screen, is to go to search historical records. Over the right-hand side, you can do browse collections, and I think that screen you go to puts the most recently added collections to the top with a little asterisk by it, and that will tell you the ones that were just finished and just sent out. I think we also have a blog that we publish what records are when they go out. I don't know exactly where that blog is. You'd have to kind of dig it around, or somebody could leave you a URL on the chat, live chat. And if you watch that, then you'll get notified when new record sets are available. Restriction films, are those restrictions always mentioned in the notes area of the catalog listing? I would not say that it's always, but usually whether the camera icon's there or not there. That's one good hint. Okay, I get that not available for viewing messages when a film has been indexed, but is still only available on microfilm and has not been digitized. Yeah, okay, so Carolyn's helping us understand why you get image unavailable for online viewing. Can you search just the people on your tree? The only search or find a person seems to search the whole tree. Yeah, currently we don't do that. Once again, it's a pretty good load on the system, but so my question is, how do we know? Okay, let me explain. The last time I looked, which was probably since a month ago, 2 months ago, because I haven't done any presentations. No, I did a presentation for NGS on video. We had over 514 million persons in one single tree. Okay, that's not everybody on the family tree. So we have almost 1.3 billion, close to 1.3 billion. But in one tree that's all connected, it's well over 515 million people in it. So the question is, if you happen to be a person that taps into that tree, how far should we go looking? That's the problem with this question, is do we look through, I mean, your line is that just going back, or is it going back and coming down? I suspect it's both directions. Well, if you're tapped into this 515 million line, that's 515 million people you're going to get back, because it's going to go up and it's going to go down and up and down and up and down, and pretty soon you'll have all 514 million in your list, which you could never look at. We could never show you on the screen because the browser would blow up. So people have asked us before. It's a strain on the system, and then we'd have to figure out a way for you to tell us how to do that. Do you want 2 or 3 generations back from this person? How many down? And then it gets more complicated, and then it feels frustrating. But I get it, because you're working your line and you're trying to find that John, Wilkes, Smith, and his wife so and so, and not all the others that have the same kind of names. I understand. Yeah, we just haven't found a good way to constrain that to what you're looking for. Sometimes I want to find a specific person back a few generations, and I'm not sure of the pedigree pathway. It would be good to be able to search or find that person directly in my tree. Yeah, I understand. You could do things like put a good date range that would sort of limit it into that generation segment. You're going to get everybody in that segment, but yeah, but you understand the issue too. Remind us about the guidelines for youth who want to sign up for their own FamilySearch accounts, such as age, email, etc. Okay, we're trying to improve this because it's been particularly hard for youth to get accounts. And the reason for that is if 2 things. One is the person has to be at least over, if a person's over 13, under 13 or younger, they have to get permission from a parent. Okay, that's just the laws in the United States and other countries. Other countries have more strict laws or looser laws. And so that's one criteria. The other is they have to get permission from their parents to get an account. The parents have to be responsive. And the way we've been doing it is the youth can go in, they enter in their information because they want to create an account, and then we prompt them to say, give us you can do a text or you can do an email to your parents or to their cell phone. And then the parent is supposed to get the text or get the email and put in a code, and that comes back, and that approves that that kid gets that account. But it's been buggy a little bit. Texts aren't arriving in a reasonable time. Sometimes they get delayed, and people get frustrated. Always the best thing is to have the parent sitting there with them. And then another problem is youth often get impatient and want to create an account, and so they go create an account and don't enter their membership number if they're a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so if they don't enter their membership number, then we don't generate their tree from membership records. And so then they get frustrated because they go inside a family tree and they see just themselves, and they don't even see their parents or anything else. So we're trying to make it better. We're looking at a new provider for the text messages that will help us in the U.S. and other countries. It's even worse, if you can imagine, in other countries, to be able to receive that text message in a good way. We're looking at several other options on how to do this. I'd have to talk to the. I'm not in charge of registration, so but I do communicate often with the guy that takes care of that. And I know they're looking at other options, such as maybe the ability to have a parent, turn on accounts or whatever for the kids. But I don't know where they're landing on that. So we recognize it as an issue. Most important thing is, if the parents are there, it makes it easy because the parents right there in the screen can type in their membership number or something to approve, and that works great. So they still have to have an email or something, but it can be a shared email. Oftentimes, youth put in their parents or one of their parents' emails and phone numbers as the phone numbers. Yeah, what you were talking about, Breen Annie, is the FamilySearch considered a kid mode of some sort? I have younger children that would love to explore FamilySearch on their own, but can't do it because I'm terrified of them inadvertently making changes. Yeah, we're actually been investigating and visiting with our leaders in the church to find out what would be appropriate for us to offer to youth. And we're talking about, 8-year-olds. 8-year-olds is a good time because they've been baptized, and they need to, family history can help them get excited about getting a temple recommend when they turn 11, the year that they're going to turn 11, and prepare to go to the temple, and they want to have a family name that they can take. So we are investigating those kinds of things. We've been testing some prototypes out there, some hacked together prototypes just to see what it's like, but no decision has been made yet or anything like that. It's when it comes to children, the church wants to be very careful in making sure that we do things right and appropriately, and so those kind of features have more scrutiny. So, but we are looking at some things that we can help. We're actually we got permission to do a couple of potential little additions to the Family Tree app in the future that are particularly geared for children, to see how they would react to that. Because, children expectations change all the time as time goes on. The old days, they were fine with a puzzle or something, and now then all of a sudden it's got to be a phone, and then it's got to be an iPad, and it's got to have this kind of activity in the games. And people spend lots of energy and effort making games for kids, and their graphics is amazing, and all those sort of things, which we probably wouldn't be doing those kinds of things. So we have to test out our expectations and their expectations to see if they meet somewhere. Deborah, I have people I'd like to share your 1-hour tutorial on how to use FamilySearch. You're talking about this particular, if you're talking about this YouTube, it's open for anybody. Anybody can come anytime. All the videos are on YouTube, so you can just click and watch any of the videos you want anytime you come. You're certainly welcome to do that. So just give them tell them to go to YouTube and go to Family History Ron and look at the videos, and they can watch anyone they want. I don't put in all the questions that I answer in there. I'll put the top, 2 or 3 questions that seem to have garnered the most interest for the session, and then they can just watch all they want. That's fine. And then you can also have them, join the Facebook Live stuff, and they'd get notified when we're having one of these. Memory items that have not been tagged may be impossible to access after the account has been closed. That is correct, but it's only correct for one reason, and that is because we didn't give you the URL to the gallery, and so you don't know where to go to get to the gallery. But we are discussing ways when someone passes to be able to put a link to their gallery on their person page, their deceased person page. We're reviewing that and seeing whether that's acceptable. Of course, we'd have to take care of these private memories that we're working on to make sure they're not accessible. until the time that the person specified. But that's all you really need, is the ability to go see a gallery. We would check it to make sure that the person's deceased and then show you the gallery. And then once you're in the gallery, then you can take those images and tag them appropriately and attach them to people. In Pozilla, is Pozilla still being used with new indexed records? Yeah, I believe Pozilla does share some of the hints kind of things. I think they send you back to FamilySearch in order to attach those hints, but I believe they do show hints. I think it's a paid-for feature. You have to go to Pozilla to verify that. Suggested rule for descendancy from you: go up max 6, then start with your list fan chart and work back down. I think that's a great way to go. Most of the duplicate dates and marriages. Let's see, where did I see that? Most of the duplicate dates on marriages are from the old system in different small ways. I delete them all. I delete all the one. There could be many duplicates or off by 1 day or something like that. If they're not correct, I would remove those marriages. Usually people only get married once or twice to the same person. I wouldn't leave them all in there. I've cleaned many of those out as I go through my people on my lines. Yeah, if it's a license date, but we don't have a place to pick a license date. So we did marriage date on purpose, and that's because a license date or a date that was in the newspaper for some in England, the betrothal or their announcement, those aren't considered, according to our chief genealogical office, that is not considered a valid marriage date because they may never got married. So that's why we don't actually provide those options in there. If a couple are divorced, would it be possible to add the word divorced under the marriage date on the person page? We don't want to have that room. We don't want to take all that room. So we just show currently the earliest, the first one. And maybe we should think about an indicator of some kind that says there's more dates. But we don't want all of a sudden all those boxes start growing, because that's a little messy and things start to look weird on the screens. So that's why we don't do that. Yeah, and I understand you'd have to drill in. So maybe we have to, let me make a note here, maybe a pop-up on, well, you can do that now. You can click the relationship. You can click the little relationship icon, the little square with the thing, and it'll pop up and show you all the dates. So you don't have to dig around too hard. You just push the little button right next to the date in the relationship. So we have that already. Just do that. I've been having trouble lately with Chrome for tagging memories. I can upload a memory, but then I can't tag them or add a title. Somebody else sent me an email about that just this week. So Linda, if you could send me an email, ron@familysearch.org, with a particular PID and a particular memory, and we can maybe help us find that. Can I speak the long-term version of FamilySearch? I don't think I have enough time to talk about that, but let me see here. What do you expect it to look like in 10 years, and what tools and abilities do you hope we will have? All right, I'll talk a little bit about that later. So let me answer the rest of the questions here. What that is happening to the edge. I don't know what to the edge means. Must be the far left or far right. You let me know what that is, Linda, and I'll get it over to that team to get it fixed. Should be able to click anywhere in that area. Is there a limit of the number of memories on an individual? If so, what is the limit? There is a limit, and it is 1,000. You can have 1,000 memories on a person. Searching, they might download their family lines by using that. Oh yeah, if you're certain, this is a Bill who's suggesting you can go get a free version of Ancestral Quest or Roots Magic or Legacy, and download from Family Tree into that product. They're free for this particular tool set. you need, and then you can search, and you'll search only your family because it only searches what's in the database. So that is an option for you. And then Bill also mentioned that you can go explore in beta where changes don't matter. Yeah, if you want to play around or learn some things or muck around with stuff, go to beta.familysearch.org, beta.familysearch.org. And it uses the same login, username, and password as you do on the main site. And you're free to do whatever you want inside there. I mean, you can add people and you can delete people and merge people, and it's a good place to go learn what's happening, see some of the new stuff that we're working on. Yeah, and so Rosemary, can't children learn how to do this in beta? That's perfectly fine. I think they need some coaching, of course, but rather than just figuring it out on their own. Yeah, RootStack training, you can go to the RootStack site and see the selected set of classes that they chose to record. Mine were not any of those classes. So, but we'll pick one of these lives to be able to present one of those. Yes, you can add a marriage license to the notes. That's correct. Put all your information there and even attach a source of it too. Okay. So I'm going to go up to, can you speak to the long-term vision? What do you expect it to look like in 10 years, and what tools and abilities do you hope we will have? Trying to decide how much we think that far. Sometimes not all the way to 10, but certainly we're thinking in the, I try to spend most of my time, I often can't, but my thoughts are always at least another 3 or 4 years out and where we want to be. And the thing that I want to do is I want to be able to have really great hints, and you've heard this before from me. We need to have really great hints that are spot on, because there's too much frustration happening in FamilySearch, and the frustration is coming not because people are doing bad things. For the most part, there are a few, and if people are maliciously trying to do bad things, we usually get reports of them, and we take care of them best we can and excuse them from participating. But I think people generally, it's rare when I find somebody who's just being malicious. There are occasions when people aren't well, and they get confused, so that does happen some. But generally, most everybody that comes to the site wants to do good things, wants to do the right thing. And I believe that since there are newbies that are in there and there's experienced people in there, that they clash because the newbie is so new that they don't really understand how careful they have to evaluate hints. And even though we said possible hints, they just see the word hints. And others probably get a little excited about things and just say, oh, just go ahead and, if FamilySearch says a hint, yeah, it's good. And that's not always so, and not always the best choice. So I want hints to be spot on, so that if somebody adds that hint to that person, all the other people that have been working on that same person will be just overjoyed that somebody took care of it. I also want the same thing with possible duplicates. If the duplicates can be so good that a merge occurs and you get notified in your watch notify that a merge occurred, and you go, cool, I'm glad they got rid of that duplicate because it looks exactly right. And that's what I want to do, because that will make everybody feel successful and everybody feel like they're not having to go redo work. Now, that being said, there'll always be a little bit of gardening you have to do in the tree. Like any garden, weeds will grow and things will, be put on there that may not be quite right. But I also want to make the finding and understanding of records easier. And I want to make it so that we can help you more in understanding that the person in this record is the same person as in this record, and the same family in this record. And we're starting that. You see a little bit of that with related records. If you've seen that, when you click on the record, you can see related records, and that's our sort of first pass, early stages. But I want to be so good at it that it's obvious that this is the same family across multiple censuses, and had kids on the way and kids leaving on the way because they're getting married on their own. And you'll be able to see that movement through the records as part of a, hey, this is the same family, and this is what's happened to the family over time. And then we give you assistance in getting all that information into those people and into those families. You can think of some souped up source linker thing to help you do all that. And that's the kind of things I want to be able to do, and make it so that people that come in that are new maybe have a slightly different experience, because it's kind of hard for them to just step in and say and see, here's the name, here's the birth, here's the death, and it's kind of not as exciting for initial people, because many come just to find out what we know about their family. They don't know anything about their family. They may only know their mother, or only their grandfather or something, and so they want to find out about their grandfather and maybe some of their other relatives, and so they get tripped up by things we do in the tree. Like even the concept of a tree may be difficult for them because they have no background in that. Maybe they don't understand what the records are. So I want to get the system to where it can teach people and help them understand how that works, and maybe even guide them carefully along the way to teach them. I want to have interfaces that are pretty, that are exciting and interesting to look at. Maybe people, when they first come, and now I'm just dreaming now, maybe when they first come, they don't even see the page you see now. But if you've seen our Google pages for ancestors, if you search an ancestor in Google, we'll show you a page it's good. It's a good basic page. Has their name, has their vitals, tells you how many memories, how many sources are on this person, tells you their relationships to others, and it's a good page. But I want to make it more interesting and intriguing, more about the person, more about what it was like where they were born, more what it was like when they were when they got married, what was going on when they got married, those kinds of things, to help make it real. Because I think when people connect to their ancestors, they feel like they're part of something more, and that's what I want everybody to feel. I want everybody to feel like, hey, I'm just not alone. I'm not alone anywhere ever. I got this whole family that was before me, and I got family that's coming after me, and we're all connected, and we're all important, and we're all valued. So there you go, a little bit of dreaming, a little bit of aspirations. Just mentioning those things, that's years worth of software development to do that. But we're going to work on that, and we're going to try, and we'll see where we go. Who knows what we'll do or not do, and what we are able to do or not do. But I just want to be at a place where beginners can find cool stuff without damaging anything, and where those who know a little bit more about what they're doing can do it, and not be afraid that others are going to remove things that are right. And we don't all know all the answers. I mean, I can see in my mind's eye some things that we need to do, and we'll just start down those paths, and we'll find our way. And I want to thank you for all you do. All of you do everything that's in the tree. I hardly put anything in there. Just a few little things in the bucket of 1.2 billion. And I thank you for all the work you do and all your patience. I know it can be very frustrating sometimes, but I still believe that a tree that's editable by most or all is still the best way to reduce duplication. And we just need to, the systems need to get smarter to help make sure that we're offering proper things and watching for misbehavior. And we'll get there. We'll get there. Continue to send your suggestions. Continue to help improve, and dream a little bit too. What would be cool to have? Once in a while, I run across a Get Satisfaction post. I try to read them all. I usually get way behind. I think right now, let me just go look real quick, and then we'll finish up. I'm going over, but I haven't looked at my Get Satisfaction posts. I just thought I'd take a quick look and see how many I have on my thing that I need to go look at. Let's see. 500. I'm at the 500 posts I need to go read. I haven't read them yet. I haven't been able to look at it for a week or so. But I usually skim through and read all of them, and there's a bunch of good ideas that pop up, a bunch of good problems that we need to go take care of, and a lot of those spark ideas for other things. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for coming tonight. I hope it was worth your time and effort. Please submit questions. When you think of the question, just go submit it and put it in, then it'll be on the list, and I'll go through that list and answer those questions so that we make sure we have plenty of information and plenty of things to talk about. So you all have a good night, and thank you again for coming. Be sure and tell others about it if you feel that they'd be interested, and then have them come and join us and ask more questions and learn more. So thank you for all you do. Appreciate it. And that's going to be it. Have a good evening, okay? All right. Thank you.